Introduce yourself.
Hey, we're Sam Shaw and the Realise. I'm Sam Shaw.
I'm Iris. Oscar.
And I'm Harvey.
And we're the Realise.
We're the Power Rangers.
Oh, we're the Power Rangers, yeah.
And what are your roles in the band?
Do you want to start, Iris?
Oh, I'm the drummer. I like to drum.
Yeah. I play guitar and sing. I like to do that as well.
I play guitar and I don't sing.
Apart from the shout.
I play bass.
So ominous.
Okay, Sam, this one's for you.
Yep.
Can you help us realise who are the Realise?
You know, that kind of realisation just comes once in a lifetime, you know. Realising something takes quite a lot of hours to realise the Realise. But the Realise are actually a band, but sometimes it's hard to realise that.
Real.
For real. For real, man.
For real.
If it wasn't called Sam Shaw and the Realise, what would it be called?
I think Purple Mars Band, actually, yeah. I just came up with that now.
Purple Mars Bar.
What do you guys think?
I don't
I mean,
know.
we were thinking maybe like the Mystics at one point, but that wasn't that great. But I
I don't
thought
remember
like
that.
we didn't really have. I don't know what early band names were. What do you remember?
Sundays is one, wasn't it?
Oh, well, that was my first ever
Sunday,
band.
right.
That
The
was my first ever
Monkeys.
band.
The Beatles, I think.
The Beatles,
I think
yeah.
we
To be
came
fair,
up with the Beatles.
Either the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. That'd be
Like it's the actual Beatles, not like beats. You know, it's like normal beats.
Yeah.
best of the
exactly.
Beatles. That's what would be cool.
How did you guys first meet? And how did the band form?
That's actually a really cool story. So I was playing with an old band at Splendour Festival, and it was like the second biggest stage at the festival, and it was a really cool day. Like I just felt so happy, like biggest gig I've ever done in my life. And then Oscar walked in just by chance. I'd never met him, and we just started talking. And your singer from your band, I can't remember her name actually.
Fair.
Sophia, yeah. And we just got on really well, and then didn't think about it. Well, I thought about it, but just busy at the festival and stuff like that. And then about, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a couple of months later. I played the last ever gig with that band, right? And he was there, and he was like, "Oh, if you ever need a guitarist, I'd love that," And I was like, "I can't do it actually," because that band broke up, And then we started playing together and just jamming on guitars. It was really fun. And then Oscar knew Eris, and that was like really cool. We started jamming as a three, actually with Cameron Harris on one practice. That was cool.
Yeah, the first
That was the first ever one. Yeah, and then we got like my friend Megan on bass. She was sick on bass, and then we got like a couple of gigs with that together. First one we ever did was the Chameleon. That was amazing. It was at the Karma Fest, like the psychedelic festival, and it was like second to last ever gig there. And it was an honour to play there. It was amazing to finish it in a way like that. And RIP to the Chameleon. Love the Chameleon. But yeah, it was just a wicked time. Really good gig to start off with. And then, yeah, we did a Liquid Light Brewery. After that, we did a big headline there. That was fun. With Gingham as well. They were great. And after that was Rough Trade, I think, which was amazing. Loved that one with Paste as well. And like Kickflip 69, they were sick. And then, yeah, we did Saltbox. That's when Harvey joined the band.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. Supported Black Doldrums. Huge place, actually. It was a really cool light show. And then Carousel with a Liquid Light show as well.
Yeah.
We've been quite blessed with light shows. I like that.
Carousel's great.
Love that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new venue. It's a really cool little place. But yeah, and then that leads us to today, really. And can't wait to play the Grove, headline the Grove. So.
Your most recent release, Mirrorball. Tell me about the song and what is it about?
Yeah, this is like an interesting one as well because I actually wrote it. It was one of the first ever songs I wrote actually, which is it's one of my favourite songs as well because I sort of walked into a guitar shop in Nottingham, Nottingham City Guitars, and just picked up this old Rickenbacker that was like £2,000. I loved it. It was like the Beatlesy kind of one, and I just was a bit bored, so I thought, oh, can I play this? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And I just immediately started playing that riff. Like I don't know what happened, but the riff just came in my head. It must have come out like guitar, is what I think, And went home, wrote some lyrics over it, and ever since I've just loved it. And it sort of evolved over these years. It was originally in Sundays, my first band, but we've sort of rewritten it and added a lot to it, especially the ending. It sounds a lot fatter now. And yeah, it's just a nice sort of love song with a twist, and it's been on BBC, which is cool. Didn't really expect that. It was really cool. So thanks to BBC as well. And yeah, it's out now. So yeah, it's great to feel it's out now. You know? It's nice.
Yeah.
And also, what about Hey Mr. Robot? Have you got any insight on that song?
Mr. Robot was cool. It just beamed into my head one day. I was drinking a coffee, and the song, the music at least, was just there, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then had a shower, thought of some words, because I was really kind of reading a lot about this AI stuff at the time that was just coming out, like people putting Liam Gallagher on the Beatles or whatever else, you know, like SpongeBob singing whatever, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was thinking, oh no, like this isn't cool. But then I realised it doesn't matter, because no one's going to prefer that to real music or real art, like, because that actually shines through and makes a lot more, you know, it's a lot more emotion and there's a lot more actual reality in it. I don't know. Everyone can just see that, really, I think. But so I wasn't scared of it, and I really wanted to write a song about that, and a song that was to tape with a real band live to prove that, you know, I don't know. It's like a sort of, you know, the words are like, you know, you won't replace me, you don't have my smile, you know, you can't erase me, stuff like that. It's quite jokey, but there's a nice message in it as well. I didn't want it to be too serious, but I think the message there is quite a prevalent one. So yeah, I'm happy with that one, and we played it really well on the recording. It was really fun.
Lovely. Tell us about the Grove. It's a new venue that people may not have been to before. Why are you excited to play this venue on March 8th?
We can't wait, honestly. It's just such a cool new place, you know. I think there's been a bit of like a gap in Nottingham since Chameleon passed away, and that hopefully will just be the perfect small venue now for Nottingham, because that's what Nottingham needs, you know. These small venues are the beating heart of like the music scene, really, and to have another one that's run by two great guys that have always just worked so hard in the scene anyway. And, you know, that also gives me a lot of hope that they can do that, you know, open a new venue, it goes so well. It's half a studio, half a venue. It looks amazing in there, incredible acoustics, because it's a studio too. So
Very
the sound,
small stage.
yeah, it's small, it's a little tiny place. I
It's
like
great
that.
though.
So it's sort
good.
of, yeah, it's cozy, you know. But it'll be like cool, because it's in Sneinton Market as well, which, I don't know, it's never had a venue in there, I don't think. It's a cool place to have one. In one of those long buildings, you know, which I've always loved the look of. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Nottingham needs more smaller venues as well. And,
Yeah.
and it's good that the Grove is now open, because it's, you know, it's adding to that.
But the Grove, we can't wait. Looks incredible, sounds incredible, and the guys that run it are great.
Highly
And,
recommend it.
Yeah, highly recommend.
And back to the supports. Why did you choose these supports? Tell us your connection to Rex Replies, Yaz, and Malchijah, I think is how it's pronounced. And yeah, tell me about the relationship. How did you meet them? Why did you decide that you wanted them on the lineup?
Yeah, so
Everyone else said they were busy.
I mean, honestly, like, as soon as I saw that band, like Rights for Flyers, because they were the first one I asked, that was like the very first seed of idea. I'd had them in my mind for ages to have as like a main support, because I just love them. I remember seeing them, I think first time might have been the Carousel with you at Hockley Hustle.
Yeah.
Mad
That's
show,
very
like
good.
it was just incredible. I just felt like it was like the Velvet Underground early on, kind of like, you know, that energy of really artistic and then really just musical, and I don't know, it's just love that vibe. And kind of humour as well, you never really get that. And the fact they dress up, it's just sick. Whole concept. So yeah, I was just waiting for ages to find the right gig for them, really, and then I think this was the perfect one, really, and yeah, I'm so happy they can do it. And for Yaz, I mean, I met her a while ago. I think it was actually at a festival or something, and we just got on really well. And then she started to say like, "Oh, I want to do some solo stuff," you know, because she's always playing piano. And I thought, oh, that'd be good to get her on eventually. And now we have, and that's perfect, really, to have her open the show like that. She's honestly incredible. And then, yeah, Lamar I met through Yaz actually, and he was just a incredible guy, because he was just sort of chatting with me about music, about his music, but in general. And I just felt this vibe of like, you're amazing, like you really care about this thing that you're doing. And I just thought, I want to see you play live. And I hadn't, you know, I don't think he'd booked any gigs for a while or something. I think he said he might not have any in the future, so I was like, I want to give you one that's good, you know, I want to make sure you're on that bill. So yeah, I'm excited to see all of them, honestly. They're just all great guys. And we all kind of know each other, so that's nice. It's like a big party a little bit, yeah. So.
Tell us about the poster for your gig. We worked closely with you to create this, and you had lots of input yourself. Did you have any visual inspiration?
The big eye.
I guess I love just 60s Grateful Dead posters, Doors posters, you know. There's some on the walls there, like that sort of art like that, you know, where it's drippy and trippy and cool. You guys already had such a cool visual kind of synergy with what I was saying, if that makes sense. I feel like we worked together very smoothly. I liked that. Like, you know, you'd push something on Instagram, I'd be like, oh, we could try this, and then you'd be like, oh, new thing added, and it'd be like, wow, this is growing. You know, it's really cool. It's brilliant back and forth, yeah. And but yeah, I feel like I just love that logo as well. I don't know, the eye logo, and for you guys to put it in that with us in the middle, I thought that was really cool. I didn't know you could do that.
The font was really cool as well.
Yeah, the
really,
font's
really like the
wicked.
font.
Yeah, you guys did great, honestly, and just the colours, everything on it, and the fact that it's slowly updated over time. Now it's got the stickers on with Yaz on. That's brilliant.
I think it's like weird fonts like that can be very like sometimes you can't read them.
Yeah.
But, like you've done it in a way where it's like you can see it clearly and you can see who's playing.
Yeah,
So it's really cool.
yeah, yeah. It's the perfect mix of like psychedelic look, but also you can read it and you can, you know, yeah, exactly.
Do you have any hot takes? Like, what do you think belongs in the bin in the music industry, whether that's an artist or a thing? So you've already obviously mentioned AI, but is there anything else that's bothering you right now?
The whole social media thing. I mean, there are good things about it, but I hate that people are getting signed off likes and views. I think that's really wrong because it makes people make art that's crap and really successful just because they've maybe even bought views. Some people cheat the system, and then it's just very strange. I think it's very virtual music industry at the minute. A lot of people have never played a gig, but they've got 1 billion views, and it's quite. And then they play a gig and they don't know what they're doing, you know. And it's not really. I don't know. Each their own. Do whatever you want, but I just feel for me, I'd prefer it if it was more real, if that makes sense. There's a lot of musicians I know that I think should be signed, work very hard, do a lot of gigs, like Sancho Panza are one of them, you know. But I'm sure they will be one day. But I just think it's the social media thing. Yeah, it's a really good tool, but it's almost grown out of its own size, if that makes sense. It's just too.
Social media has changed the music industry into a completely different sort of place.
Yeah.
Like Sam said about people getting famous off of views, and what obviously it must reflect on their talent a little bit, but it's like there are so many artists that aren't on that level of social media, and it seems as it's just like they're only there because they're good at social media, not the music. It's people deserve to be heard, and there needs to be some sort of platform where it's more easy to get heard and get out there.
So as individuals, I want to hear about your influences and what made you get into music in general.
I think Pink Floyd was the first band which I really thought I loved and got into. But as a guitarist, I really loved Johnny Marr and Tom Verlaine from Television, John McGeoch. It's kind of like more interesting kind of, string skipping kind of styles, stuff like that, and yeah,
man.
Unique sounds and effects and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Got a lot of jangle. It's good. But like Mars,
Yeah.
kind of jangly.
big Johnny Marr fan.
Yeah, man. I'd say the first ever guitarist that I was like, oh my fucking god, is Jimi Hendrix. He blew my brain. Like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Hot take.
It was, yeah. Have you ever heard of Jimi Hendrix? Is he? I don't know. He's not very famous.
Who's that?
Yeah, he's an easy guy to
Jimmy
choose,
who?
but, man. Like, you know, he's got the finger. He's just amazing. Like, you know, it's just incredible. And
Iconic.
that was my big influence. That made me want to just play all the time. And the first song I learned properly was Purple Haze. It took me like a year, you know, on this little acoustic. And when I finally got it, I was like, right. I played it at the last concert at my school, and that was an influence because I felt like once I'd done that, I could do anything because it was really scary. I never liked to perform, but he's my big influence in guitar because he just gave me that power to want to do it. And the Beatles, man, again, a very easy choice, but I'm obsessed still to this day, and I always will be. I think things like Pavement. I mean, I got obsessed with Pavement for like 3 years recently. Like, I still am. They're incredible. I love the way they write songs and play. There's loads of influences. Syd Barrett as well, man. Like, he just still, yeah, what an incredible guy. Tame Impala as well, I will say. Not as much nowadays, but that was a huge thing. When I saw them at Rock City in 2014, man, that again blew my mind. Like, and I just went, I'm doing music. And I didn't go to English Lit in Manchester. I stayed here and did music, and I'm very glad I did. And that gig made me do it. So yeah, there are my influences really.
Mine are quite different. So I got into music. I always liked music, but I got into music properly quite late on. I'd say around middle of secondary school. And the first band that I probably would say got me into music were Green Day, funnily enough.
American Idiot,
Yeah, but it wasn't even American Idiot, it was Dookie.
that's a great album, to be fair.
It was Dookie, and then the early Green Day stuff really got me into it. Like Trey Cole's drumming, particularly. I mean, when I started playing drums, I just wanted to play as fast as he could and play all his parts. And then I started to pick up the guitar. Learned how to play guitar. Taught myself because of Billy Joe Armstrong. And my music taste sort of evolved from there. And I listened to a lot of pop punk and blues. I started to get into blues. And then it's just, I don't know, it's just sort of evolved. I like all sorts now, but I'd say mainly I look up to John Bonham. I feel like, as everybody does. I think he writes guitar. He writes the guitar part more than the bass part, I feel like. And he really thinks about the music in the way he plays. Same as Ringo Starr. Trey Cole, fucking love that guy. I love his drumming.
I love his hair as well.
I love his hair. It's well cool.
He's got a good vibe.
And I don't really know. I feel like a lot of other people can tie my drumming into other like artists or drummers, whatever, more than I could, because I'm not really sure. But
you've got a really unique style to be fair. I really like it. So like very melodic, but
Thank
you
you.
can go really fast as
Thank
well.
you.
Cool.
Yeah, I try my best. But yeah, that's me.
I mean, I grew up in like a weird cocktail of like Miles Davis, Iron Maiden, and The Cure from like my parents and my brothers. So just all that kind of stuff. Really, like I don't know. I sort of like got into Queens of Stone Age when I was like 16, and that was like a big push into like heavy rock music. And then I just started going off and finding all like my own bands and stuff, and got massively into Tool, Metallica, but then also like the Beatles was like a huge one for me. Nine Inch Nails, just, yeah, all sorts of stuff. Bob Dylan, of course, yeah. Jaco Pastorius in terms of like jazz, yeah, all sorts.
Lovely. Well, that was actually our final question.
Wicked.
And we're so excited for you to hear what you have in store March the 8th.
Yeah.
Grove
Yeah,
in
can't wait.
Sneinton.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. Come down. It's gonna be a real party.
Be there
It's
or
gonna
be
amazing.
square.
Yeah, and you don't want to be square.